Season 1 is coming up quick, and with it are a lot of changes to your favorite heroes. Starting with our vanguards, Captain America. Steve will receive some enhanced survivability, allowing more frequent entering and exiting of the combat. They've reduced the delay time for shield restoration after releasing Living Legend from 3 seconds to 2 seconds, and then they reduced Liberty Rush cooldown from 12 seconds to 10 seconds, increased his base health from 650 to 675, and then reduced the energy cost for releasing Freedom Charge from 3,400 to 3,100, and then they reduced the additional health provided per second to himself after releasing it from 110 to 100. These are some much needed changes to Captain America, and we'll see if they're enough. Now Doctor Strange, they'll be reducing the threat range and increasing the defense window of the Sorcerer Supreme. They've added damage fall off to Maelstrom of Madness and Gamma Maelstrom, starting at 5 meters and reducing to 70% at 8 meters. And then they're slightly decreasing the shield value recovery rate after releasing Shield of the Seraphim from 80 a second to 70 a second. Now they're giving Thor some increased survivability. They're increasing his base health from 500 to 525, and then they're adding immunity to CC effects during his ultimate. Hulk is getting a slight nerf. They're reducing his shield health value from 250 to 200. And then Venom's getting a little bit of a buff. They're increasing the symbiotic resilience bonus health ratio gained per lost health point from 1 to 1.2, and then they're increasing the base damage of his ultimate ability from 40 to 50. Moving on to Duelist, Black Panther. They're decreasing his combat survivability a little bit. They're reducing the additional health provided to self after refreshing Vibranium Marks with Spirit Rend from 40 to 30, and then the upper limit of additional health provided from 120 to 75. Now Black Widow's getting some increases to her ability uptime and her ultimate ability. They're increasing the range of the first effect of Edge Dancer from a 3 meter radius to a 5 meter radius, and then they're reducing the time required for Fleetfoot to recover from 0 stamina to full from 12 seconds to 4 seconds. And then for her ultimate, they're reducing the time required to reach maximum power from 1 second to 0.6 seconds. And then for Hawkeye, they're slightly reducing the spread angle between every 2 blast arrows. This is his secondary fire. I know most people don't use it. Some of you might not even know that he has a secondary fire. And then they're reducing the triggering distance of his passive ability, Archer's Focus, from 60 meters to 40 meters. And then they're reducing the maximum additional damage of the passive from 80 to 70. And then Hela isn't getting too much of a change. They're just reducing her base health from 275 to 250. And then Magik's getting a little bit of a buff in her ultimate. They're increasing the Umbral Incursion damage from 115 to 135. Moon Knight's ultimate is also getting a buff. They're increasing the number of talons generated from 10 to 14, and they're also increasing the explosion radius of each talon from 4 meters to 5 meters. Namor is getting an accuracy buff for his spawns. He can now more accurately throw them to the desired location. Moving on to Psylocke, they're adding more options to counter her ultimate. Her ultimate now checks for barriers, which includes Magneto's barrier and Hulk's barrier. And then both of Punisher's weapons are getting buffs. They're reducing the spread on both of them. Now Scarlet Witch, they're increasing Chaos Control's fixed damage from 50 a second to 60 a second. And then they reduce the percentage damage per second from 5% to 3%. And then they're increasing her secondary fire projectile damage from 30 to 35. Storm is getting some much needed buffs. They're increasing the Windblade projectile speed from 100 meters a second to 150 meters a second. And then her primary fire damage from 50 to 55. Her Bolt Rush damage is also getting a buff from 70 to 80. And then after releasing her ultimate ability, the bonus health provided to herself will be increased from 350 to 450, and then after its conclusion, the extra health will no longer vanish instantly, but will instead diminish at a rate of 100 per second. Squirrel Girl's squirrels are getting a little bit smarter. The squirrels will now rush towards the nearest enemy after bouncing instead of bouncing randomly. However, they're reducing the health from 600 to 300. For Winter Soldier, they're increasing the bonus health provided by Bionic Hook and Tainted Voltage from 30 to 40, and then they're increasing his projectile damage from 70 to 75, and to counter that, they're reducing the area damage from 70 to 65, and reducing the damage decay from 65% at 40 meters to 60%. Then he's also getting an increase to his base health from 250 to 275. Wolverine is also getting an increase to his base health from 300 to 350, but they are also reducing the damage reduction ratio provided by his Undying Animal from 50% to 40%. Moving on to Strategist, Cloak and Dagger. They're reducing the Dagger Storm cooldown from 15 seconds to 12 seconds, and then they're increasing the number of dashes in their ultimate from 3 to 4. Now Jeff's ultimate is getting a little bit of a nerf. Instead of a 10 meter sphere, it's now going to be a 10 meter radius with a 5 meter high cylindrical spell field. And then he's getting a slight increase in his primary fire healing from 140 a second to 150 a second. Luna Snow's ultimate is getting a slight nerf. They're increasing the interval for switching between healing and damage from 0.1 seconds to 0.5 seconds. This means you can't spam it between damage boost and health. Mantis's movement passive is getting a slight nerf. It's going down from 2.5 meters a second to 1.5 meters a second. Rocket's healing orbs are getting a buff. It's going from 60 health per second to 70 health per second. Now moving on to team up abilities, Hawkeye and Black Widow, they're reducing a Hawkeye season bonus from 20% to 15%. And then Hela, Thor, Loki, they're reducing Hela's season bonus from 20% to 15%. And then Luna Snow and Namor, they're increasing the frozen spawn damage from 25 to 27. And then they're also increasing the slowing effect applied to hit enemies from 25% to 30%. And then the berserk state for his frozen spawn damage has been increased from 16 to 18. And Rocket Raccoon, the Punisher, Winter Soldier, they're reducing the cooldown of ammo invention from 45 seconds to 40 seconds. The Scarlet Witch Magneto team up is getting a little bit of a buff. They're increasing the projectile damage from 55 to 60 and increasing the spell field damage from 30 to 35. And then Thor, Storm, Captain America, they're reducing the cooldown of Charged Gale from 20 seconds to 15 seconds. And then they're increasing the damage of Charged Gale from 50 to 55. Those are all the changes to the heroes. Let me know down in the comments who you're most excited for. And as always, with great power comes great responsibility. And yours is to hit that like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.